Hello students, welcome to the class today. The topic that we are going to study today is states of matter. This is a very important topic that you start studying in class 3rd and study till class 10th. So before starting the topic, you must know what matter is. It is dravya. That means कोई चीज़ that occupies space, जो जगह लेता है and has mass. That means उसका कुछ भार होता है. तो कोई ऐसी चीज़ जो जगह लेती है और उसका कुछ भार होता है, that is called as matter. Anything that occupies space and has mass is matter. And states means the avastha, the conditions, which signifies the condition in which matter is present. Condition of matter. So here we talk about various states of matter, which includes solid, liquid, gas, and a new, that is plasma. Now the students who study in the junior classes, they must not be knowing about plasma. They are only aware about the 3 states of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas. The 4th state is plasma. Now one by one I will explain you each of these states. First of all, solid. It is the state of matter in which molecules are very closely packed. And because the molecules are very closely packed, therefore, this state of matter forms objects that are compact. Compact means ये ऐसे object बनाता है जो एक ही state में रहते हैं, एक ही जगह पर fixed रहते हैं और अपनी position को change नहीं कर पाते. That is why all the objects which are in solid state do not change their shape. For example, diamond, a ring, a glass, a bed, a sofa, a pen. They are all a part of or an example of a state of matter that is solid, because in these the molecules are very tightly packed. Now the second state of matter is liquid state, and it is a state of matter in which the molecules have very little spaces between them. That means there are certain spaces between the molecules which allow them to flow. They are not very tightly packed. That is why in this state of matter, things can flow. They do not remain in the same shape. Rather, they take the shape of the container in which liquids are put. For example, the juice. The juice inside the glass is example of liquid, whereas this glass is example of solid. Now the third state of matter is gaseous state or the gas, in which the molecules are very away from each other. They are very far away from each other, and there are very large intermolecular spaces between them. Intermolecular spaces means the spaces between two molecules. Intermolecule, between two molecules. So due to the large intermolecular spaces, the gases can flow very easily, and they do not have any shape and just take the shape of the container in which they are put. And whenever they find the way to move out of the container, they start moving. For example, an incense stick. An incense stick is a solid. Incense sticks means agarbatti. It's a solid form. वो एक solid form होता है. But when you burn it, जब आप उसको जलाते हो, then the fragrance from the incense stick goes in the whole room. You can smell it in the whole room. It is because the solid molecules of the incense stick changes into gaseous form, and due to that change, the gas starts moving around the room and you can feel the fragrance, you can smell it. The last stage or the next stage is the plasma stage, and this stage is formed when the gaseous molecules move away from each other and forms positive and negative ions. And this state of plasma is mostly found in the gases when they are in the ionized form. Now, if you look at this picture carefully, you will see that it has been shown that solid on melting forms liquid, then vaporization gas, and then ionization plasma. And then plasma on deionization forms gas, gas on condensation forms liquid, and liquid on freezing forms solid. So this flow of arrows tells us that these states of matter are interchangeable. That means a solid can change into a liquid, liquid can change into gas, and gas can change into plasma. Now, when we heat the solid molecules, these solid molecules have very tightly packed molecules inside them. Due to the heat, these molecules start moving away from each other and forms the liquid state by the process called melting. These liquid molecules have less intermolecular spaces between them, but when they are heated, on vaporization, they form gas. And further, this gas on ionization, that is formation of positive and negative ions, forms plasma. This plasma, when it is deionized means that the positive and negative will join. It will form gas. Gas on further condensation means cooling, will form liquid, and liquid on freezing will form solid. Now I will tell you about the interchangeable state of matter using a very simple and important example, that is the water cycle. You know, the water, it evaporates from the surface of earth, goes to the atmosphere, becomes clouds, and then comes back as rain. The property of interchangeable states of matter is being used here. The snow that is present in the glaciers, it gets melt and runs off to enter into the water bodies on the earth's surface. On melting of these glaciers, the solid ice or the solid snow changes into water due to heat. This is called as the process of melting. Now, when sun falls on the surface, the water present on the surface, that is in oceans, in lakes, in rivers, it starts evaporating because water gets heated up, and on heating, the liquid molecules, that is in the form of water, change into gas by the process of evaporation. As gaseous molecules start moving away from each other, so they start moving in the upward direction. As soon as they reach in the atmosphere, there comes a point when this starts cooling down. जब वो ठंडे होने लग जाते हैं, and on cooling, they start forming water droplets. This process is called condensation. So here, the gaseous state that was formed, the water vapors that were formed, they've started cooling down. वो ठंडे होने लग गए हैं. And by the process of condensation, they have formed clouds. Now, when these clouds become heavier in size, the rain comes down on the earth's surface in the form of precipitation and enters again into the water bodies and forms a layer of groundwater. So this process continues, in which the melting of ice from the glaciers form water, water on evaporation forms clouds and forms water vapors on condensation forms clouds, and clouds give rain, which is in the form of precipitation. So this interchangeable of state of matter helps in the formation of the water cycle. So the simplest example for this is that ice cubes are a form of solid which on heating will form liquid, that would be water, and that on further heating will form gas, that is water vapor. Now these water vapor on cooling by the process called condensation will form water, which further on cooling will form ice. So the simplest example of water, or the three states of water, explains us that these states are interchangeable in nature. Thank you.